Hey, Mega Moms, Jessica Hensley here with Real Estate Mega Moms. And today I am joined by a special guest. We have Tracey Hicks with us. Hey, Tracey.
Hi, how are you?
In case you don't know, Tracey is the owner of All Things Real Estate. And I have been like fangirling on All Things Real Estate. You have the cutest stuff, you have an awesome social media presence. And so I reached out to Tracey and asked if she would want to be a sponsor at our upcoming Abundance Conference. And she was like, yes, I'm so down. And she's also going to be a speaker. She's going to be one of our breakout session leaders. So I wanted to introduce you to our tribe today, Tracey. So tell us a little bit about yourself, when you got into real estate. Just tell us all the details.
Yeah. I'll try to make a long, excuse me, a long story short. But I did get into real estate when the market was like really, really great. 2005, I think, 4 or 5. And so I had a good like year, and I had left a job working for the YMCA. I was running all their after school programs. So I worked with kids for a good like 15, 16 years prior to getting into real estate. Decided to switch my career at around 35, I think I was, and people thought, "Oh my gosh, you're changing careers," like that I was old or something, and I was like, "What?" So, I kind of went into it thinking this was gonna be my last gig, like my last career or whatever, because that's just the generation I'm a part of, I guess. But, so yeah, I came in at the height of the market. It was awesome. We were super busy when I started. A friend of mine was in the business already, and he needed help. And he was one of my good friends from childhood. So I started working with him and assisted him. And then, a year later, the market just tanked, and we were back to square one pretty much. So I got the highs and the lows all within the first year of being a realtor. So I feel everybody's pain. Every time there's a shift, I get it. I understand. And
It's
so
kind of PTSD, right? Like I
Oh my
feel
gosh, yeah, and, when COVID happened, I was like, "Psh, realtors got this, like, they deal with this kinda stuff all the time, like, they'll get through this," and they really did. They came out like champs. They figured it out and, just made it happen like they always do. It's like a daily thing for them. So yeah, I, was a realtor for good 16 years, but 7, 8 years ago, actually, I think it's like 8 or 9 years ago, I started a newspaper actually out of the recession that we had gone through. And I was like, oh my gosh, do I need a second job? Like, I was a single mom. I had 2 mouths to feed, including my own. So I started a newspaper that was intended to be for realtors to market themselves because there really wasn't anything. We did have stuff in the newspapers back then, like open houses would be in like the newspaper, the Sunday paper or whatever, but there was a anywhere really for them to advertise themselves. The internet had, was on the scene, but not in terms of advertising and marketing yourself. Of course, there was really no social media yet. I think Facebook had just come on. So, yeah, I wanted a place for realtors to market themselves and their listings and to talk about the business, because I think that real estate gets a bad, rap. And back then there was no platform to educate people on, how to buy a house or what a home inspection is or what's a sewer scope, all of those kinds of things. So I did that for a little while, and then my real dream was to have a store, because the stuff that we had for marketing for us was just awful. You still see some of it out there. Some people, it's not important to them, but to me, I really wanted to have a brand even back then. And so yeah, I was like, I'm just going to do it myself, because every realtor needs to have access to good, cute, quality products. We just didn't
yeah.
have it.
And I think that that's a sign of a true entrepreneur, right? Whenever you see a need in the market and you're like, I can fill that need, right? So with All Things Real Estate, if you don't know, go check out their website. Just type in allthingsrealestate.com or All Things Real Estate Store.
Store. Yeah, but if
Yeah.
you put in all things real estate, it better show up.
Yeah. And so what she's providing is cute marketing tools for realtors. So you have things from like the signs that you bring to closing that say sold. What are some other things that you found that realtors, they really enjoy these items from your store? What are like the most popular ones?
Yeah. So when we first started, Etsy was on the scene, but not really the way that it is now for real estate. So we really were the only ones. There was maybe a couple other sign shops that were maybe doing this. I don't know, but almost every product we come up with is because of a need from a realtor, or it's a need that we know that we could fill, or it's just a cute idea that we're like, oh my gosh, everybody needs to have this.
So you're telling me if we have a special request, we can let you know?
Yes, yeah,
Oh,
oh yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if I can make it and sell it, I'm in, it's a win-win. And whenever somebody has an idea for a product, we always send them like our samples and like the final product and, make them a part of the process. The realtor community is really important to me, which is another reason why I started the store, is that I love the realtors a little bit more than I love my clients when I was realtoring, but the day-to-day, and it's a hard job. People don't get it. I mean, your audience does, of course, but people out in the real world don't understand what it's like to be in real estate. It's tough. So we try to make it a little easier for them.
And that's what I was gonna say. I mean, yeah, we deal with so much with our clients and just trying to remain top of mind and
Yep.
to not have to worry about how do I design something cute that's gonna help me
Mhm.
stand out at closing or, Annie is saying you have a planner. I mean, just, different things. And I even have seen like your little stickers, wanna buy a house, where
Yeah.
just living your life and having something cute where someone can come up and say, "Hey, you sell real estate," right? And
Yeah.
that's the idea of a lot of your gear.
Yeah, yeah, we call them conversation starters, and
Mhm.
really the idea was that because I was not great at marketing myself. I came into the business as an assistant, and I had my own license, so I did a few of my own deals, but I think coming in for me as an assistant broke my confidence a little bit. I didn't have to hustle right off the bat. I was already working, but that was what was going on with my life at the time. I needed a paycheck. I couldn't just wait 3 months to close a deal. So, talking about real estate and things like that, I felt, even though as outgoing as I felt shy about talking about myself and my business, which I know a lot of realtors go through as well. So, I was trying to come up with ways that they could subtly and cutely, if that's a word, talk about, have a conversation starter, whether it's a hat or a t-shirt, your tote, a decal, things like that, that would bring the conversation to me rather than me having to say, oh yeah, hey, I'm in real estate, some people are really good at asking for referrals. I was not. I was terrible at it. So it came out of that.
Patricia says, "I found all things real estate right at the start of my career. Actually saw
No.
several pieces, at an open house and wanted to look that represented her." So,
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah.
she loves the t-shirts, thankful to meet face. Yes, Tracy's so awesome. I mean,
Well, and
really,
I
yeah.
love that she said that she wanted something that branded her, because that's what we're telling realtors all the time with our products, is that even if you're at a larger company where they have their branding, you still need to stand out for yourself. It's important that, you know, it's also a confidence thing in yourself. Again, I'm going back to that for some reason, but I think that when you have good branded stuff, and it makes your life so much easier and your head's not so cluttered with all of the things that you have to do as an agent, just like you said, with having your marketing in place, it just makes it so much easier. Okay, I have my open house sign, I have my sign in sign, throw it all in my open house bag and go. But it's something that I love, that I resonate with, that shows off my style and who I am as an agent. So that's one of our difficult things, is the things that we think are cute. We're like, oh, I hope everybody else thinks so too. And so we always have to have like a counterpart balance. Like, okay, this is, really scripty or cursive-y. Maybe somebody wants that. We call some of our stuff script and bold. We have a minimalist look so that it's really clean lines. And so, you know, obviously we can't appeal to every single person, but if we can at least have a few different genres, then we need to meet the needs of clients who are realtors.
Yeah. Well, so tell me, Tracey, what made you excited about coming to Orlando and participating in the conference with us?
You know, we do conferences a couple of times a year. The only two that we've been doing in the past is national, and then the California Association of Realtors, because they're like national. They're like their own mini country. But so we've always done those two conferences, and it is exhausting, as you know, setting this thing up. It is a tough job. But the benefit of that is that we get to talk to people. We have a storefront, so we get to talk to our Portland agents, which is great. And but to talk to people all over, the US, and people that have been our customers for a really long time and are so excited to see us. And then we have people that haven't heard of us yet and that are so excited to see our products for the first time. So that face to face is really important to us. I've been a part of your group for a really long time, and I always, I'm a creeper, so I just listen to what the struggles are with them and kind of what's going on. And so I always like to pop into groups to do that. I don't ever obviously talk about our products and stuff. Sometimes I'll comment, and like if I have an idea for a solve for one of their problems that maybe they've posted. But I think what you guys are doing is you've built this community and you've done such a good job at it. Facebook groups are no joke. They're a lot of admin work. I totally know how that is. And so, yeah, you guys have done such a great job. You've been around for, I think, almost as long as we have, right?
We started in, let's see, April, I believe, of 2016.
Yeah, yeah. So I think we were like 15 or 14, but yeah, you guys have built a community that agents need, and they feel safe to talk about things. And I think, again, going back to that being a realtor is hard thing, you can feel so isolated and alone. And, there's so many boutique shops that have popped up on the scene. And so you maybe don't have a Tuesday team meeting to go to, or maybe that's not your jam. Maybe you do, but you don't go because you don't like to. So having a sense of community is probably one of the most important things for realtors. And you all have done such a good job of doing that.
We love our tribe. And I mean, we take a lot of pride and ownership and stewardship of our tribe. It's so
Mhm.
important to us to honor each and every one of you that are watching and listening on this podcast. You guys are why we do what we do, right?
Yep.
I live and breathe to hear your positive stories and testimonies. And Patricia, she's commenting. She's one of our girls, and she knows that we love our tribe so much. And so when we ask for sponsors and when we ask for speakers, it is with a lot of thought and prayer that we've hand selected each and every one of you. And I'm really
Mhm.
excited, Tracey. Your heart is just like from the very beginning. You're like, we're gonna figure out a way to make it happen, because it was kind of short notice. I think I asked you like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and the conference is in like 2 or 3 weeks. So she's like, let me check up plane tickets. Let's see how we can make this work. And then you just like dove in. And for those that don't know, Tracey's also going to be doing our swag. So Tracey, we had a contest, or not a contest. We had a
A
poll.
poll. Yep.
Yeah. We designed several different t-shirts, and I know she's like, "You're really cutting it down to the wire, Jessica," but, and we let everybody decide which one they liked the best. So
Yep.
I'm gonna share my screen, and I'm gonna announce which one we are going for. So, okay, can you see nope, you can't see it yet. Okay, this is the design that we went with.
So cute.
Yes, we love it. We love it. So we let everybody vote. This is the one that was voted on. However, the one that was voted on did have like orange and some different colors, and we all felt like we just want it to be our colors. So we changed it to be a little bit more girly, but we love it. We love it. So this is going to be the t-shirt that's available for the people that come to the conference. And then also, if you're not going to be at the conference with us in person, you will get a t-shirt when you purchase your digital ticket this week only. So we're giving you until Friday to grab your digital ticket. We're also going to be live streaming a lot of the conference. Some of it is going to go on simultaneously. So I've like the breakout session. So obviously we can only live stream one breakout session at a time, but everything else will be live streamed. And then you'll also get the recording of the complete conference. So all 6 of the breakout sessions will be recorded, including Tracey's. So Tracey, tell us about your breakout session. What can they expect to learn?
So I'm still kind of planning it because your breakout session is a little longer than I'm used to. So
An
I'm
hour and a
adding,
half. Yeah.
usually I'm like 20, 30 minutes because I know the attention span, shoot, even myself.
Think
So
workshop. Think workshop.
yeah, exactly. So I'm breaking it into like 15, 20-minute increments and doing a couple of like, not really breakout sessions, but some little group things that they can do together to work on some stuff. But so it's, unique marketing is obviously really broad. But there's a lot of stuff in realtors, I would say toolkit, but the trunks of their cars, in their garage, at their office that they can use in their marketing that you just don't think of. So we're going to talk about different ways of using what you already have and then maybe building your your merch or your supply,
Yeah.
closet or whatever you want to call it, and how to use those things in your marketing, because you just don't think about, you see what everybody else is doing and then you're overwhelmed with all the stuff that you need to do. But honing in and dialing in that, like the idea of what you want people to see you as, is really what I want to hone in on and help everybody do that.
I love that. Kind of identifying your personal brand
Yeah.
and what you stand for. Because
Yeah.
we always like to say your brand really, well, the components of it may be colors and fonts and a logo. That's not really your brand, right?
No.
Your brand is what people think of when they think of you, and also how you make them feel,
Yeah.
right? So the way you treat them, that really is your calling card in your
Yeah.
brand.
Your personality, and you are who you are, and trying to be somebody else or trying to do what somebody else is doing is impossible. It doesn't work. You're either not going to do it or you're going to do it really terribly. So you don't want to do that. So, hone in on your personality and embrace it and love who you are and let people know that, because there are people just like you. And those are the people that you want to be your clients, which people hear all the time.
That is, we've talked about that for years, but I will say, even for myself, it is a hard, long lesson, right? To really embrace who you are and to
Mhm.
not look at others and think, how can I be more like them? How can I maybe craft my presentation or my Instagram feed or
Yep.
whatever to be more like someone else? Because it's really, really tempting to see someone's success and to be like, I'm going to just copy that. But a copy isn't original, right? And it's not going to be as effective. And
Yeah.
I believe people can really see that from a mile away. They can see when you're being fake and you're not being yourself, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, being authentic is really, it is hard to dial in on that. And also too, I think that the imposter syndrome thing creeps in. And I
Mm.
talked earlier about my confidence going into real estate. I think it's the same thing. It all comes back to that, and it always does. It always comes right back to the reason why you got into real estate, who you are as a human, as a mom, as a wife, as a sister, whatever. And just being who you are is just, it's so much easier once you can do that. Once you
Yeah.
get there.
Yeah, for sure. Have you ever taken like personality test?
You know, I have in the past. Again, it's not really I never worked for like a larger brokerage. I never went to like, I've never been at a Keller. I've always been at a boutique
Mhm.
office. And then I also have a real estate company. So I started my real estate company about actually coming out of the recession a little bit. We decided to go on our own because we wanted to do our own thing.
Mhm.
And so my business partner, Chris, and I started Dwell Realty, and it's 12 years old now. And so to answer your question, I have done a couple of them, and it's really cool to, like, see it at the time, but then I never do anything with it afterwards. It's like, "Oh, yeah, I know. That's who I am. I know me."
Well, if you run a team, which you run multiple
Yep.
companies and teams,
Yes.
I found this program, and I think it was in a mastermind, someone mentioned it, but it's called cloverleaf.me.
Okay.
And it's really cool. So you have every team member take, it's actually several tests or assessments, I guess. There's not a pass or fail. It's just,
Yeah.
it's an assessment.
Answering questions, yeah.
Yeah, and it kind of brings it all together of like what your team looks like as a whole.
Mhm.
So it's really, really interesting. And one thing that came out of it, I discovered that of my entire team, everybody on my team is an extrovert and I'm an introvert. And I'm like, okay, but I'm the leader here, and I'm I definitely have the experience and the business coming my way, and my team there, it's more of an admin heavy team, so they're there to support me. And I'm like, how does this work? So I was reading more about it, and it's just really interesting. So extroverts, they get energy from other people. Like
Yep.
they just enjoy being around other people. That gives them they prefer to work with others. Introverts, they get energy from themselves. They look within to like refuel. And so since I figured that out, I started working from home during the week. I work here at my office on Mondays and Fridays. And then the rest of the time I'm working at home, and I'm getting like way more done. And I don't feel guilty about it because I'm like,
Yep.
this is who I am. I have to refuel, and I'm a better leader. So there's just, that's one little bitty aspect.
Yeah.
But I've been able to embrace it and not be ashamed of it, because I used to be really ashamed that it's just,
I wasn't doing.
yeah, small talk just doesn't come easy to me. Like, I don't enjoy it. It's very painful to me. I
Yeah.
want, I want to have a purpose in every conversation, but that's okay, right? That's who I am. And my partners, if you listen to us at all, Randy and Stephanie, Randy's like, she's totally an extrovert. She can talk. I mean, I've gone on retreats with her and she's talking to like 2 a.m. I'm like, how are you doing this?
But look what you've done. You've built a team of people doing the stuff that you're either not good at or you just don't want to do. And that's another hard task that realtors should hone in on as well, because you should not be doing the stuff you don't want to do because you're
Right.
not going to do it. And some of that stuff has to be done. And some of it really will benefit you by having it done. But again, delegating and figuring out, I always have people do like, just take a sheet of paper, fold it in half, and write the things I love to do and the things I hate to do, and move those pieces where they should go and figure out how to do that and just take it, one task at a time. But yeah,
Mm,
I mean,
yeah.
that's the perfect example of building out what works for you.
Yeah.
And it happened naturally.
Yes, and we're all about individualized success here at Real Estate Mega Mom. So, some people listening may think, okay, success is defined as X number of closings or
Yeah.
X number of transactions or X number of volume.
Yep.
And what we like to remind you is that's not success. You have to define what success is to you. It has
Mhm.
no bearing what another agent in your office is doing or what somebody across the country is doing. None of
Yep.
that matters. What matters is, what do you need in your life right now to either survive or thrive to reach your goals, you and your family, right? It's not
Mhm.
just a single, your only decision. If you have a spouse or significant other, this is something, bring them in, bring your kids into your goals
Yeah.
even. And
Yeah.
then define what success looks like to you. And sometimes that's 12 closings a year, and that's okay. But I think there's shame around that because,
Mhm.
oh, well, I only sold 12, so I'm not really qualified. No, that's not right.
Yeah.
Because you know what's funny? The big wigs, right? Like, I'm part of EXP, and my upline, there's Dan Beer and Kyle Whistle and Mary Maloney, and some of these really big, amazing agents. And they are touting their success, measuring their success by how much downtime they are able to have, that they're able to pick up their kids from school. Those things that, mom, you're probably already doing right now.
Yeah.
And they're measuring, that's their metric of success.
I was
You
just
know?
gonna say that. It's about the measurement. I saw it in a group actually, and a woman was saying that she felt like she wasn't, um, successful for that reason, like a certain amount of closings, and I saw the greatest comments from other women lifting her up, but some of the stuff that I really loved was hearing about was the measurement. What is your measurement? Maybe it's, "I wanna help this many families." Maybe it's, I want to do this many pop buys or whatever. It's not always about the closings. And so, yeah, I love the measurement side of things and figuring out what your measurement is. And it might take you a while to figure that out, but maybe you already know what it is and you just don't know what it is.
Yeah, that's right. Maybe this can be part of your breakout session.
Yes, I know, right? Measuring your success.
Yeah. So, Nisha, I don't know if she had found you before, but she's like, OMG, I love all things real estate stores. So
Oh,
you're
thanks,
getting some
Nisha.
fans here. All right. Well, Tracy, we're excited to see you in Orlando in just a few weeks, March 9th and 10th. And moms that are local to Orlando, you can still come. There's still some tickets available. And ones that aren't local and maybe you can't make last minute travel plans, grab the digital ticket. And we have a killer lineup this year. It's going to be amazing. And thank you so much to our sponsors, to All Things Real Estate and Tracey Hicks.
Yeah, thank you. I'm excited. Let us know what you want us to bring because we'll have a little store set up as
Ooh.
well. So I'm trying to figure out right now, we're trying to put our list together of what we want to bring to you. So
So ladies that are going to be there, Nisha, I believe Nisha's going to be there.
yeah.
Go to her website and comment and tell Tracy what you want her to bring. She'll bring it.
Yes, for sure.
All right, everyone. We'll see you next week.
Thanks,
Bye.
Jessica. Good to see you.
You too.